initiated a tectonic shift in the performance management process and became the harbinger of change. There are many such cases. Second company, as we all know, is Deloitte. They announced abolishment of one-year performance review, 360 feedback and objective cascading methods from their HR policies. Few other companies like Cargill is there, Accenture is there, General Electric, all of them have done away with their annual rating or ranking, and rather than that they are focusing on timely feedback, maybe weekly, monthly or quarterly feedback. So most of these companies, they have done away with the rating because they realize that it's not helping.
Okay. Mr. Mishra, your views?
Yeah, actually I hadn't finished quite when you took, you gave me less time than Mr. Modi gave the country before introducing that. So I will tell you another HR joke, if many of you have heard, that there was this chief executive who wanted to recruit a HR guy, and he told the consultant, I have only one condition, that he should have one hand. So he said, sir, itna cheez hai, qualification, skill, experience, one hand, why? He said, this guy keeps saying on the one hand we should do this, on the other hand we can do this. So I want a HR guy with only one hand. So coming back,
he did not say that with one brain.
I think it is assumed once you are in HR, you are only limited one or half or whatever.
Is it acceptable?
I'm sorry if I offend a fellow HR professional. Yeah, so basically what I wanted to say when I started off, that I was talking about performance, not of performance management system. I think long back, if you may remember, Gandhiji had said that work is an expression of your soul. And if any of you have come across a Gallup study covering about 1.2 million employees, the biggest differentiator between high performer and low performer was only one. That I get an opportunity to do best, to do what I do best every day at work. Today, on the other side of the spectrum, while I was driving down, I was reading in the Times of India, there was a survey where 90%, today's Times of India, where 90% of employees have said that their boss does not know what motivates. So if you don't know what motivates your employee, what he is best at, so that he can do that, then any performance management system will not work. And as far as taking science is concerned, you told me there also you should take science. Yes, I will take a science. That we don't need a performance management system, because management implies a little bit of control, a little bit of regulation, a little bit of ordering down. What we need is a performance nurturing system. He was alluding to Deloitte. They have, at least they had 2 years back, I don't know if they have gone back, they had tried to change their system where they did away with ratings, where they did away with so many of the traditional props of a performance management system.
Employees' perspective on this.
I think so many HR professionals here, and it's a rare opportunity really to kind of. So the problem with PMS generally is, the good talent has to be rewarded. So HR people come and say that okay, he is very good, performing very good, we have to pay. But then when it comes to actually differentiating, PMS basically means actually differentiating and but because you pay to somebody, you also have to pay to somebody else and all that. So in my mind, many times we face difficulty working with HR professionals in managing performance management system, creating that objectivity and also alignment, throughout, even with the employees. So as somebody said, it's once in a year exercise. All of a sudden you have PMS some review and the raise or the bonus is based on that. So there is not a complete quarterly or whatever some kind of exercise.
So that brings me to another
point. So people are not aligned actually properly. So PMS many times in my personal experience, instead of benefiting, it also actually brings a lot of other issues, bitterness, disappointments, those kind of issues. And it may
will come to that. My question to the eminent panel is that how do you handle manufacturing companies versus service-oriented organizations, and how PMS is different? Because as my dear friend Arnav says that India wants to know. So there are many people from manufacturing organizations, there are many people from services. How do you differentiate this name?
Right. Day before I was watching Times Now, and I said to one of my friends, I was we are missing Gandalf. I can now say we are not missing him. So before I get into responding, how I have seen, at least in my experience as a consultant, and then having worked with a few more, one thing is sure I've heard from Mr. Jivani coming very clearly. I want to reward, I want to monetize, I want to do this. So, and that is the perception that a performance management system has. There is nothing called coaching, feedback, monthly review, quarterly review that is coming in the conversation. If until and unless that becomes a practice, the performance management system will always remain used on. Right? Now coming back to how I have seen the various organizations do it. Typically it is, you define an objectives in the beginning of the year, which are called KRAs, KPIs, their target, rates, which are assigned. And this is possible in largely a manufacturing setup where you have very clear driven parameters which are there. Obviously organizations are including about the how it is being delivered, how did you work actually, whether you created carcasses on the ground, whether you were working where you were a very, very strong manager, or how did you deliver. As you start moving towards the service industry, the focus on how it moves, the how part increases. I was in a consulting firm called Quit. Actually, out there, a part of my assessment was not only based on the net promoter score my projects will get, but also on the financial part, and also the feedback that my peers, my seniors, and my team members will give me. So it's a combination of all three which will actually then finally result into a rating. And all this would be deliberated within the system. So that's definitely is one of the
Mr. From academics, what could be the differentiating factor between manufacturing PMS and service orientation PMS? Is there a need, or it's okay?
Yeah, if we go by the PwC survey 2015, it's very clear that the performance management system, the perceived effectiveness of PMS, especially IT/ITES, is much higher as compared to any other industry or any other sector. It is around 65-70%, and in case of manufacturing, it is less than 40%. So it speaks volume. The same survey talks about something very interesting. Around 93% respondents indicated that the supporting business objective is the primary purpose of the performance management system. So nowhere the companies are focusing on the employee development and all those things. So 93% for them aligning it with business objective is the only purpose of performance management. Around 12% believe that the performance management system is highly effective in achieving its objectives. So around 88% respondents are saying that the PMS is not effective. This is across industries, service as well as manufacturing. 52% have made or are planning to make their changes to their current PMS in the future, out of which only 16% have made changes. So out of 52%, only 16% have made the changes. So there is a huge scope of improvement. But yes, pertaining to, because the issues in manufacturing and service sector are altogether very different. So PMS in manufacturing is very different compared to services. In manufacturing, on one hand we are handling issues like industrial relations and all, and in services the issues are mainly recruitment and retention. So as the issues are very different, the type of manpower which is joining manufacturing services is very different
set of
yes.
Mr. Mishra, your views.
At a fundamental level, I don't think there will be much difference in the system. There may be difference in the mechanics of the system, but not in the philosophy of the system. And I'll tell you why. Each company has a unique, a company which is serious about itself, has a USP. Suppose you take Microsoft. Their USP is, the stated capability is we recruit, retain, we attract, retain and grow talent. If you take say a company like 3M or Dell, they say that we are very good at doing new ways, at finding new ways of doing things. Similarly, if you take GE, they say we are very good at embedding leadership. So every company has a stated capability and the performance management system. I'll give you an example of my company. I worked in Steel Authority of India, Northwest Steel Plant for almost 25 years. There was a time when we were making losses of 3 crores a day. And we had a great turmoil, huge workforce, 22,000, huge turmoil, a very violent union. In fact, they went to the elections saying that we have assaulted 28 executives, so please vote for us. And people voted for it. So that was the state of demoralization in the city and in India. And we devised a very simple, under one of our great managing directors, a very simple exercise but very powerful, which is going on even today. It is called the mass contact exercise. You can find it in management case studies in IIMs also. That this is the longest running corporate communication intervention in history, in corporate history. It started in 2012, weekly exercise of 500 people with managing director, executive director. I was one of the young presenters in 2003, and when I left, I was chairing those meetings. I mean, that is the the length of time this exercise has gone on.
One minute, please.
No, 1 minute. I am coming to it. So, in this exercise, there was one very simple thing you said, that your survival depends on the plant and the plant survival depends on you. This is to the worker, and we made a mission statement. And the way within 2 years the company turned around is a matter of record, it's a matter of history. So again, coming back to my point, that the focus, which is very difficult actually, at all levels, you will find in many of the surveys, you will find the top management is very committed, the workers are very committed. But the middle level is not so committed. The reason being,
It includes HR.
somewhere is the same. HR top level, HR bottom level. HR,
They are not
they
committed.
have not come from Elon Musk.
No, they are not committed.
Top is committed, bottom is committed, middle level are hanging around. Because
You guys are not committed.
no, see, it's a real thing. I'm serious. It is mainly because the direct alignment to the goal is not there. And the getting the result
Why that alignment is not
is
there?
not there. Because we are not able to save it. It is the management which is not able to provide that kind of
So again, you have dedicated upward balance.
alignment. And I am management. Where I am dedicated. I am the person responsible.
So how do we improve that? If that brings to another very important aspect of communication. How important is communication in performance management? Mr. Jivan.
I think, I'm sorry, but I preempted that actually by saying the way it is managed and my experience, I haven't worked with many organizations, but what I have seen is, as I said, sometimes it remains in patches and the alignment is their problem. So a business objective and the employees they themselves knowing why they are doing this and what is the frequency, what are the objectives, what parameters we are going to measure them, and what all other attributes are surrounding that. So instead of many times I've seen actually after doing PMS there are questions or then there is a reactive firefighting kind of exercise instead of alignment as you are suggesting, doing actually like upfront.
Sir,
From the beginning of the
HR.
yeah, exactly.
If they don't do firefighting, if they don't create fire, why you will keep HR?
So
I am speaking on behalf of them.
yeah. So such issues I'm sure we all face daily basis. So many times reactive instead of actually doing alignment.
How important is communication?
Oh, absolutely important.
And what could be, based on your experience in consulting and in manufacturing, could be an effective way of communication in PMS?
Right. So I'll try to make it a better statement from 44 characters. Biggest problem with any people system or especially performance management system is lack of communication and most importantly is misunderstanding of what it is exactly. It's important that, and it's a system which is there for some time actually. The biggest challenge is what line manager understand, what an HR manager understand, and what actually our employees understand. There is severe difference in looking at the performance management systems. So it's important that there has to be a consistency in what is expected of our performance.
Mr. Bilge?
As far as the research goes, two areas within communication which needs improvement. One is listening skills, and the second is feedback. In some organizations, it has been observed that unless you make feedback and coaching to subordinate as KRA, managers do not take it seriously. Maybe large organizations may not be facing this problem, but if you come to the next level, if it is not KRA, they will not take it seriously.
Okay.
And they have better things to do, they have meetings or some other things to do. So they do not listen to their employees and they do not provide feedback when it is required. So providing feedback at the end of the year may not help.
That brings me to another aspect of PMS. What are the recent trends in PMS? We say we have an issue in communication, we have an issue in misunderstanding. So which are the recent trends which the progressive companies are implementing?
So some of the, one obviously the Hello or much abused bell curve, we would have, companies are doing away with it, and obviously have a view on it. Second is basically performance management is not HR's job, only not HR's job, it is the line manager.
Again confirm, PMS is not HR's job.
Not only. So I gave that answer. It's not only HR's job, it's line manager's job.
You are giving a lot of relief to my colleague.
Yeah. So, most importantly, I've seen line managers, if you have been rated the top 2 billing, you have been given more than happy to spend time with the employee. If the rating has been below expectation, HR gave you the rating. I gave you a fixed expectation, my manager reduced. Come on, have the capability to accept, I did that. And as HR also, we should also stand by the process. This is the process. Someone asked me, I want an objective management system as performance management system as a consultant. I responded, sorry, not possible. It's an individual assessing another individual, it will always be the same. You can have parameters on the basis on which you can discuss the objectivity, but it will always be the same. So this is another aspect that line mapping good, better companies, especially which are actually doing away with the line managers are coming forward and taking the initiative of having a monthly or quarterly feedback.
Mr. Pingle, in academics, what are the recent trends in PMS which can help company to overcome